Dwayne is excused. Hilgenberg is excused. Borley?
Here.
Genrick?
Here.
Vogel?
Here.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Vogel, second by Borley. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from our March 9th, 2016 meeting? Moved by Vogel,
Second.
seconded by Genrick. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Well, let's just jump right into old business. Item 4, discussion and action on sale of parcels 947, 907 Main Street, and 9-46, 913th Main Street.
Last month, just as a reminder, we talked about having the staff proceed with looking into the options and development of some city-owned parcels on the 900 block of Main and Cedar Street. The parcels that this committee is looking at are parcels 9-47, which is 907 Main Street, and 9-46, 913 Main Street. So the project is to enter, we'd like to look at entering into a 6-month planning option for the property located at the 900 block of Cedar, 907 and 913 Main Street, parcels 947 and 946. This planning option would allow the developer time to complete all the due diligence necessary to determine the physical and financial feasibility of constructing a multi-story mixed-use development, including event and meeting spaces, retail with commercial uses as well. So you can see 46 and 47. Yesterday, we met with the RDA, which has ownership of 9-48, and that one would also be part of the project, but that's been decided, and now it's the portions that are tied to this committee. So we'd like you to direct our staff on how to proceed on approving the planning option if you, and maybe subject to some minor technical changes or minor legal changes. And I have the developers here to speak to this for questions.
I just noted, and Mike, you might notice that too, that we give pretty good deals now on planning options as compared to what we did out in the industrial park. That's a good deal. Yeah, usually the planning option fee was considerably higher than that, so I suppose this is because it's not in the industrial park, or?
As far as what they put down for our
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
This was kind of a boilerplate
Okay.
planning option on this particular piece, but I could certainly look at what the committee would like to advise.
No, I just made note of that.
Comment.
Yeah, that's just a comment. Otherwise, no, I don't really have any questions right now. Anyone else in the committee have any questions relative to the planning option?
This
No.
does, oh, I'm sorry.
Because no, I saw RDA already approved this, correct? Last night, or?
They approved parcel 9-48.
Oh, there is, okay.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I
for me?
just had a question. I just didn't realize that that does not include the old vacant Greyhound bus location.
Nope, the Greyhound station is on that block, but we are only talking about parcels
Right.
946 and 947.
I didn't realize it was chopped up that many lots.
Yeah.
All right.
These are useless.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Would you like to just address us and tell us a little bit more about the project and what some of your plans are?
We'd love to. It's it's in the beginning stages.
Sure.
A lot of things are confidential. Could we possibly have a closed door session to tell you gentlemen what we're doing?
Yes, because it's listed on here.
Correct. The
Yes.
applicant requested, and this is both RDA and EDA, just given, one, I guess, kind of negotiating where we're at in terms of this option, but then also the business plan for this individual, just some proprietary things. Just we had put an opportunity to go into closed session and I think there's some things that the applicant probably would disclose in closed session, if you choose to go into that.
All right, motion to return to regular order.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vogel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Do you want to go and close shut the session?
Yeah, the language should be,
Yeah.
so want us to do the language?
Okay. Well, make a motion, and we'll vote on it.
Motion to go into closed session, and do you want me to read the whole verbiage?
Please.
The authority may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, para 1, para E, Wisconsin stats for purpose of deliberating or negotiating the sale of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business as necessary for competitive or bargaining reasons. The authority may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to sections 19.85, para 2, Wisconsin stats to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vogel. We'll have a roll call vote. Genrick?
Aye.
Sikich? Aye.
Aye.
Borley? Aye. Vogel?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Carried. We will.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
I actually know the action is really to approve the planning option. Here it says sale. We're not doing that today, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it should be to approve the planning option, so I guess I would entertain a motion to approve the planning option agreement for partials 947 and 946 on Main Street.
So moved.
Moved by Borley, is there a second? Second by Vogel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Good luck.
Thank you, gentlemen,
see
so
you in
much.
6 months or
Thank
sooner.
you.
Thank you.
Good luck with that one.
Okay, item 5. Communication from Alderman Stoyer to look into inviting the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment from Fort Myer, Virginia, to Green Bay on August 7, 2016, to celebrate the 2000th anniversary of the landing of American troops in the area.
I'm sorry.
Alderman.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, perfect. You had it planned that way.
You guys meet at 4:30.
Yeah, we changed it.
No, good, thank you.
What's up?
Well, hi, everybody. Well, I also chair the Historic Preservation Commission, and as a lot of you know, this is the 200th anniversary of the landing of American troops in the Green Bay area. August 7th of 1816 was that date. And it more or less represented, the American troops came in, there was the British after the Revolutionary War, stuck around in this area until after the War of 1812. So the troops came in, sealed the area, and then they built Fort Howard. So one of the things that we've looked at doing is we've contacted they're called the Old Guard. It's the the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment from Fort Myer, Virginia. They are the oldest Army unit of its type in the country. They were instituted in 1784. And they guard the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. They're the Presidential Guard. They're also, they're active duty. So they're a very decorated regiment. And they also have groups that come out, either their Revolutionary War period outfits, Fife and Drum Corps. They have a color guard from the War of 1812 dress. And then they also have a modern troop that comes out with fixed bayonets. They're the only troop that can do that. So what we have done is we sent in a request to the fort. We talked to Major Tim Metters, and he more or less stated they were very interested in this, not only as the history of Green Bay, but it's also history of their regiment. So the hope is that they will come out gratis. We asked for some money in finance because there would be roughly $12,000 to bring those folks in for a day. It's the last day. It's the last day of the Tall Ships Festival, and it just so happens to be on a Sunday. So it's coincidentally, it's just fantastic that worked out.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that the troops said that they would come out if it was a free event. Now the Tall Ships Festival is a paid admission event, so we would have to have the area cordoned off, probably around the statue of Zachary Taylor. and then along the bridge. And the talk would be to have the bridge closed along that stretch so that they could perform in that area, then also back and forth along the Dawson Street Bridge. I actually did give a call to the Menominee tribe too, because Chief Toma was the chief at that time in 1816 and was part of the welcoming group, if you will. So there's some hope that maybe some of the tribes would be involved in this event as well. So I don't know, it's just more or less information. I already presented this to Finance. And the hope is that because they were a military unit, that we were hoping that it would be a military exercise, if you will, that they would come out. And they're fairly excited about it as well. So there would be a couple of performances probably. Like I said, the Fife and Drum Corps would be 14 to 22 soldiers dressed in Revolutionary War outfits. Then the Color Guard would be a War of 1812 outfit. I don't know if you have any questions.
No, it sounds interesting. So are you looking to look to staff to find potential funding sources, or?
Well, I mean, I did go to Finance
Yeah, okay.
already and did throw some numbers out to them.
Okay.
But then again, I think they leaned upon us, the soldiers, that if this was a free event, that, there's chances are they would come here.
Good.
So that's the goal. We're trying it from that end. If something happens where they deny that, we still may want to carry this through, and we'll hope for the best.
What about downtown Green Bay Inc.? or-
Sounds
Yeah,
like
what
a
about,
party,
yeah, did you contact Downtown Green Bay Inc.?
I haven't really talked to them yet,
Okay.
so there's chances.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
said, the word is out a little bit. In
Yeah.
fact, tonight is the
Local
opening of the Fort Howard exhibit at the museum,
Okay.
and I plan on going to that from 6 to 8. And I think there'll be some chances to talk about that. The Press Gazette wants to do a story on
Sure,
this,
yeah.
so there'll
Sounds
be
good.
some things coming
Yeah.
out. Erica, on your end, I mean, I'd like maybe, some of the state representatives, I mean, all the way to the governor's office possibly, and we could also look at our U.S. representatives as well. I think it would be a very special event, so.
Are you not trying to work with Downtown Green Bay with?
No, I'm not.
I mean, with the Tall Ship Festival right there?
Well, actually, we've met with Tall Ships. We've actually met with Holly Williams from PMI twice, and they like the idea. We met with Heritage Hill as well.
Oh.
They would like to have these soldiers come and stay for a week because they have an event the following weekend that they'd like to have. So I don't know how that will work, but it would be nice to coordinate that. So, and the museum wants to be involved as well. I think there'll be, once the story gets out, I think there'll be a number of folks that will get involved. So I'm fairly excited about this.
Well, good.
So,
Any other questions? We're about to get booted out of here, so.
yeah, that's fine.
But it sounds like a good cause, Mark, and
All right,
keep us posted.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks.
We done?
No, we're done? What about?
Well, we have to go next door.
Oh, we're going next
We're
door.
going next door.
You think so? Okay.
So with
you want
this, just if the recommendation, if you just want to make a motion to direct staff to continue working with appropriate parties just to get this event happening.
So moved. Moved by Genrick. Is there a second to that motion to continue to work with this group and encourage the Fort Myer, Virginia U.S. Infantry Group to come to Green Bay?
No, second.
Second by Borley. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried.
So the last four agenda items, they're all kind of related, and I can go through them relatively quickly if you guys think we need to move those.
Up to the- Let's let her rip.
Fly through it.
Okay, good. Keep going, keep
All
going.
right, cool. So we want to make changes to our facade, demolition, and workforce development grants that we have through our department. We want to make these changes because the money has essentially been sitting in a fund not being used. That's largely in part due to the map that we had previously for those grants. I brought the old map with me. If you notice, it doesn't even include downtown Green Bay in it. So the eligible areas was really limiting, and that prevented the funds from being used, and that was for facade and demolition. So we requested some changes to the terms of the programs. For facade, we changed the maximum from 20,000 to 5,000 in order to make a wider distribution. We also changed the match criteria from 50-50 to 75-25, again, to try and get the funding out and really encourage use of this opportunity. We added murals and we removed some of the temporary fixings such as landscaping or parking lot maintenance from the eligible improvements. As far as the demolition grant goes, we also changed the match to 75-20. We kept the maximum award at 10,000. And so that's kind of the major changes to those two, in addition to the maps that are attached in your packets. This had to go to RDA yesterday because it is using CDBG dollars, and Alderman Moore made a request to also include these parcels down on Irwin Avenue over by the Bay Beach area. The map was, the areas on the map were chosen because we were looking at where the CDBG eligible areas are and where the commercial and downtown zoning falls on that, and then selected major corridors along there. So that's how we created the new maps to include all of the bids and more. And then moving on to the workforce, I'm just gonna go through all four of these and then you guys
Sure.
can make the motions if you want. For the workforce development, we have about $96,000 in a fund to support organizations that provide job training programs. That has also just been sitting there and we wanna make sure that it gets out. There weren't good guidelines to go with it, they were very vague, so we created sort of, you know, it was very vague previously. We just made it easier to understand, and we would have a 50% match with that program, so it would be an opportunity for us to leverage some additional funding towards job training. The final agenda item was the design review board. This, we wanted to create a staff design review board with the expertise to approve facade designs to ensure that it goes through another process of scrutiny. The previous grant had a design review board, however, I did some investigation work and it didn't seem like anyone knew what the design review board was, so we would like to create a new one, and that would be myself, one of our planners, and our historic preservationist, Jason Flatt, and we would be joined by whoever, if it's in a bid district, we would be joined by that bid director. So.
I guess one question I had, if these funds were, you know, some of our best kept secrets in the past and remained untouched, what are we going to do different this time? We're going to promote this, or?
Well, first of all, it's much more flexible, and many more people are now eligible given the new maps. So
Okay.
but previously, we had a pretty limiting area that the grants could be used in.
Okay.
But also, I do intend to fully promote it. There have been people who have expressed interest in it already, so I think that it will be easy to get the funds out there now that we're making these changes.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Just wondering if you have buy-in from the bids and solicited their input on all these changes and they're comfortable with.
Actually, the request to change the grant came from one of the bid directors who noticed that her area was not in the facade eligible areas, and she has her own facade grant. That's in Military Avenue. They have their own facade grant.
Yep.
They wanted to see if they could leverage some city funding and if we could revamp our facade program to work in their district. As it turns out, we were able to, and so we decided to move forward, making some changes.
Okay, great. And then just one final question. This is something that I'd brought up in the past, and so I was just curious if you've been able to kind of put together like an inventory of all the state and mostly federal monies that come to the city and are able to be spent on economic development efforts, and if you'd be able to provide that to the authority here, so we just kind of have a better sense of like what the landscape looks like for economic development resources.
I can do my best to track back in time, but I can't ensure that we, have documentation on everything 10 years, going back.
No, I just mean like right now.
But yes, definitely, and I actually recently created an inventory of all of the sites that we've used our brownfields funding on. It's an interactive GIS map, and you can scroll over the sites, and it links you to all of the reports. So
Okay.
I can definitely give you an extended inventory showing where our other funding has been used.
Great, thanks.
Anything else? Any other questions?
Need a motion?
Were you looking for a motion, or?
Yeah, and you can, if you want to suspend the rules and take up 5, 6, 7, and, sorry,
Or whatever,
6, 7, 8, and 9 all at once. It's basically just kind of approve this package
I move
as a whole.
that we approve the revisions to the facade grant, the demolition grant, the workforce development grant.
Second.
Second by Borley. All in favor, say aye.
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 Carried.
Okay.
Good job. What about the design review board?
I think that was it.
That is part of
Okay,
it.
okay, part- okay.
You didn't do 9.
Who's gonna have?
You just read 6, 7, and 8.
Dan?
I got 9 as a director's report.
Is it?
I might have-
What you got?
Do you
Oh,
have an old agenda?
I might have had an old agenda.
Maybe that's.
okay.
So sorry.
Why don't we modify the motion to include item 9, design review board?
I'll move that. I'll also move that.
Second,
Whoever's, yeah.
Borley seconds that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Director's update
All right.
quickly, and then we're done.
Sure, we will have a new commission member for you next time, so
Okay.
we're not calling you at the last minute to
Okay.
get a quorum. Appreciate you
Okay.
taking the time here today. Other than that, we've been busy, projects are good. So I don't know if there's anything specific you want me to answer, or maybe we can talk in the hall as
Yeah,
well.
okay.
Move to adjourn.
Second? Second, all in favor, say aye. Carried.